Hello and welcome back to Desktop Calendar Help video. In this video we'll see how to edit text and colors in Adobe InDesign. So once we open the InDesign template, first thing I want to point out is the layers panel, and as you can see the first two layer groups here are the print info and the info box. Print info will give you lines, cut lines, and elements for editing this template, like the bleed, the cut line, and the save text area. So if you're planning on moving around elements, you know where the boundaries are. And we have the info box, which basically is going to give you the basic text information, the basic information about this template. The size, the print area, margins, etc. These two layers are created for your help. If you don't need them, you can just turn them off, and make sure to turn them off and delete them before sending them to be printed. The next thing we're going to talk about, if you're new to the InDesign, once you open the Pages panel, you'll see two different areas. The top area is the area with the master pages. If you're not familiar with the master pages, basically the principle is that everything you put on the master page, let me just turn off frame edges so you can see what's going on. Everything you put on master pages, you can apply then on the regular pages without having to copy and paste this all these elements over and over again. So let's say I have the cover page here. As you can see in the cover, we don't have the same elements as on the page. So let's say I now want to get it back to the original design. I need to go to Apply, right click, Apply Master to Pages, and then I apply the design that I wish. Now this is a great way of experimenting with your design. You can create your own master pages, play with them, put some elements there, and see how it works once you apply them to design without having to save multiple files, etc. Once we have our pages set up, we can start with the editing. The first thing we're going to talk about would be editing the colors. Now, of course, you can select the color or the element with the color you wish to change. Double click here in the Tools panel. You can either play here with the color space view, or you can add your own values here. And once you're done, press OK, and you have changed the color. Now, that's going to take some time. Even if you work with the master page, selecting each and every element and then changing the colors can be a little bit intimidating. So why don't we go to the easier and faster route? In order to do that, we need swatches to be open. So we go to Window, Color, and Swatches. And here we have the colors that have been used throughout this tutorial. So let's say we want to make this red. I'm going to double click on the color I wish to change the color, or let's just leave it at magenta. If you have the preview button checked, you can see the changes of the color immediately, and also not only does it change the graphic elements, it also changes the text too. So that's the easiest way of editing the colors. Now let's talk about editing the text. Of course, you can select the text frame, double click on it, and type your own text here. Or the easiest way to edit the text properties, I mean, that's basically editing, adding your own text, changing the values, etc. Let's say there are two things, two elements of the text that are on the master pages. That would be the company info, so we don't have to copy and paste it throughout the entire design. So if you want to change this particular element, It should. Double click on it, you can paste it, paste your own text. I'm just gonna type in something fast here so you can see. Now when we go back to the pages, this info has been changed throughout the entire design. Like I said, that's the advantage of the master pages. You don't have to do edits 12 different times. You can just do it once and you're done. Now when it comes to editing the text properties or the font properties, we'll need to open character panel. We go to Window, type in Tables, Character, and now when I click on the element, I have the font family, font style, size, kerning, leading, all these different elements that I can play with. I can change the font completely. I can change different elements here. But the, again, easier way of doing it, and actually the faster way of editing, is using paragraph styles. Now if you are not familiar with paragraph styles, I made it very simple to edit these. So you'll have the name of the paragraph style that is corresponding with the style on in the template. So let's say we want to change this month. We want to change the basic properties of it. So when I double click on it and I go to the basic character formats, here I can change the font family, font style, everything I've just shown you in the character panel. I'm going to change it to be all caps. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Now I can change the alignment, whether it's going to be in the center. Let's put it on the right, just to change something. I can change character color. Let's make it gray. There are a bunch of options here that you can play with. Make sure you have the preview button checked so you can always see the changes happening in real time. And once we say, okay, that's how I like it, once we go throughout the design, as you can see, every single name of the month throughout the calendar has been changed. So you don't have to do it over and over and over again. And that applies to the work week. These are Monday through Saturday. Sundays is the weekend. We have the days, work week calendar and Sunday calendar. We have the info, the year. So basically what you have to do is double click on the style that you wish to change and change it through the paragraph styles. Okay, and now the final thing is editing the images. As you can see, these images are just placeholder images. So I can just click here on this little circle, then go to Control D on my keyboard, and I'm just going to select the image that I would like to use. Okay, now this image doesn't look right, so I'm gonna center it and I'm gonna fill the frame proportionally. And once I do that, I can again click on this circle, change it a little bit, move it around, etc. Now, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is select your image in the links panel, right click on the image, go to relink, and then basically we do the same thing all over again. Now this is good because we can, in this way, you can select all the images you wish to change, right click, and once you click relink, it will relink each and every image individually. And now finally, the last way of editing the files, these images, is through the image folder, and here you have the placeholder images. Now the trick here is to open these images in your Photoshop, and I've opened the January and February image. So now what I'm going to do is change images here in Photoshop directly, so I can not only control the size but also the placement of the image. Okay, place the image here. Okay, now I'm going to position it. I can merge these two layers by simply pressing Ctrl E, or I can leave it as it is, but for the purposes of, let me just leave it as it is for the purposes of this tutorial. And I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm going to select something from winter. Let's say this one. Okay, now I have the image placed. I'm going to resize it, confirm the placement, and then move it around so it's going to fit the way I want it. Now when you go back to the InDesign, first thing you're going to see in the links panel are these little yellow triangles that basically tell you, okay, this file has been modified. Do you want to update it? You need to update it. So you can either double click on this triangle and it's going to update the file, or if you've done this for all the images, you can select all the images that have this little triangle, right click on it and just select update link, and it will automatically update your links. Okay, that was it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions regarding the template before or after purchase, or you need additional help when it comes to this template, please don't hesitate to contact me and I'll try to respond as soon as possible. Have a fantastic day and see you soon. Bye.